session so that we can post it to our puppy blog. And if somebody can let me know that they are looking at my PowerPoint presentation, it says get ready for a puppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then I'm going to ask people to turn off their cameras so that we can have the presenter speak. And then I'm going to invite Carrie to join us after I get through a few of these slides. We are going to get started in about 1 minute. So if everybody can just hold tight and we can let everybody join as we get into the hour. Great. Hi, Becca. I'm going to ask everyone to turn off their cameras so that we can have this recorded for the blog. All right. Hi, Tessa. Did you have a question? So we're presenting a PowerPoint tonight, and I'm going to be talking while I do the PowerPoint. So can I please have everyone turn off their cameras so we can record the session and put it up on the puppy blog? Great. Okay, let's get started. Just by a show of hands, if people know how to raise their hand in the meeting, just by a show of hands, who here is raising a puppy for the first time? Oh, excellent. Good. Great. Mark, Vera, Sherry, Constance, Tessa, excellent. Oh, good, 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 good. Okay, I'm glad to have all of you first-time puppy raisers here joining us today. I really hope that you find the information valuable, and I hope that you are excited about raising a canine companions puppy. I can tell you that puppy raisers rave about how an enriching experience it is, and I hope that you have one as well. So with that, Kirk, can you turn off your camera so we can keep the recording clean for folks? Thanks. All right, so let's get started. Let's see if we can get the PowerPoint to get going. Great. So what happens next? You guys have been on the waiting list for a few months and have gone through an extensive application process. I hope that wasn't too tedious for you. But we are getting ready to assign a lot of puppies this summer and fall. We are breeding puppies, and we are getting ready to send them to you. So the next thing that that's going to happen is our puppy program departments will be contacting you about 3 to 5 weeks before the puppy is ready to arrive to you. And the puppy may be coming, maybe shipping to an airport local to you, or it might be coming to the training center that is close to you. If the puppy is shipping, you will be receiving shipping information about a few days before the puppy arrives. And with that information, we're not going to be sharing the puppy's name or color or breed at that time. And we do this because if anybody knows what shipping a live animal is like since the COVID pandemic, you know that it is incredibly complicated. We now have two airlines that can ship live animals and guarantee that the puppies will be safe and cared for. We used to have several airlines, and the what they called the Animal Safe program have been discontinued, and we are not able to ship puppies on airlines that are not going to guarantee our puppies' health and safety. So, with that said, this is why shipping has become uh, pretty complicated. We are trying to use private pilots and volunteers who are able to take our puppies on small private jets across the country, which has its own complications, but is also has been a lifesaver for our shipping team. Um, but in order to do the shipping the way we do, we really do need to build in some flexibility in our program. And so that's why we're not able to share the puppy name or information, breed, or sex until the puppy is really just about to arrive. So I really appreciate everybody's patience with that and understanding. I know for a long time we were able to send you any puppy you wanted, and it's just not like that anymore. Before the puppy arrives, we would like you to attend an online orientation. Hi, Amy. I'm glad you joined us. Can you turn off your camera? Thank you. Um, we'd like you to attend an online orientation with one of our puppy program managers. These are online. They will send you a link to join, and they happen on a regular schedule. And they will let you know when that's happening when they contact you about the puppy. So you're going to get a whole lot of information about really about the first few weeks of both care and socialization for the puppy that you'll be raising. The puppy is going to need shots. You're going to have to set up vaccination its first set of vaccines, which will happen about 3 weeks after the puppy arrives. So you'll want to get in touch with a veterinarian and schedule an appointment for that. And you'll get all of that information with the puppy information when you get the shipping information. You'll get a health record and everything else that comes with the puppy. While you are waiting for the puppy, we also want to be sure that you are plugged into all of our resources. We have a really rich blog full of resources and information online, and that is at community.canine.org. And this is where you can find any of the online puppy classes, any of the recordings of the puppy classes, training videos, our puppy manual, our blog that we post to a few times a month. And this is also where you're going to be able to find links to Volunteer Hub. Now, Volunteer Hub is where you actually probably came into the organization originally. So all of you should already be signed up on Volunteer Hub. And I don't have the specific link on here because there's a specific link for each region. So use the link that is specific to your region, and you can get to that through our website. And that is where you're going to find all of your puppy class schedules. Now, while you are waiting for a puppy, the next best thing that you can do, or one of the very best things that you can do, is to attend a puppy class. We would love for you to get familiar with the organization and with puppy handling, and find out where your classes are going to be held. And all of that information, the where and when, is on Volunteer Hub. You can sign up for classes there, and you can attend any one of those classes that you like. It's a really great opportunity for you to get plugged into your chapter, and to even, offer to puppy sit. Anybody who is on the wait list right now is eligible to puppy sit for any of our puppy raisers. And so if you are there and are able to reach out to some of the chapter members, they may be looking for somebody to take a puppy, and we would love for you to have an opportunity to do that. Also, get involved with your local chapter, and you can find a whole list of our chapters on canine.org, and that's canine.org/local volunteers. And then we also have a puppy mentoring program, and we love alliterations here. So we call them Puppy Pals, and we would love any of you who would like to have a puppy pal, particularly anybody new to puppy raising, to get assigned to one of our puppy mentors through your puppy program manager. And any one of us can help you get together. Do we have any questions in the chat? Just Gina saying she's excited. Great. Excellent, Gina. All right. So equipment that you're going to need. The equipment that you're going to need right off the bat before the puppy arrives, it's really important that everybody has a crate. Now, the puppy, if it's shipping, is going to be in a crate, and that is going to be only sized for about an 8 to 10 week old puppy. They're pretty small crates. And it's really important that the crate is appropriately sized for the puppy. I really like to recommend a wire crate that has a divider in it. Now, this divider allows you to change the size of the available space to the puppy as the puppy grows. And the reason why the correct size is important is because the puppy will, it may have a tendency to toilet in the crate if it has too much room. If the puppy is able to sort of sleep in one corner, it may toilet in the other, and then you don't have the benefit of a crate helping you with toilet training. Amy, your camera's on again. Can you shut that off for us? Thank you. An X-pen or a baby gate is a great way to section off part of your house that you can really have totally puppy proofed. We definitely want you to puppy proof the house and make sure that, the place where you live is a safe space for the puppy. But an X-pen or a puppy gate is going to give you a space where you can sort of put the puppy and get to your business. I mean, if you're, say, at work, you can set up a little X-pen if you have the space in your office, and put a small bed and some toys in there. And it's important that you keep an eye on the puppy, but this is a space that is going to be sort of deemed safe for the puppy, and a place where you can reliably put the puppy. Now, puppies grow very quickly, and X-pens are not exactly reinforced. So be careful. I've seen puppies just walk around and move the X pen with them around the room, and it's pretty funny and cute, but it can also be kind of a dangerous situation with the puppies. Baby gates are great. They can section off your office or a room in the house and allow you to, set up a safe space for the puppy at home. Definitely get a collar and tags for the puppy. The collar should fit snugly. You generally want to be able to fit about 3 fingers underneath the collar, and that's a good fit. An ID tag with your name and phone number should go on the tag. The puppy's name can go on there. That's fine. It's important that, if the puppy is found and somebody calls the number that's on the tag that we give you, that they're able to identify the dog. So the puppy's name on there is fine to do. There is going to be a tag that comes in your packet with the puppy, and you'll need to keep that tag on its collar. Get a leash. A 6-foot nylon leash is great. They're inexpensive. And any of these toys that you see down here are also in our puppy manual. You can refer to the puppy manual and see what toys are approved. We really like these hard rubber toys. These are what we call crate safe. And the puppy can have these toys in the crate and does not necessarily need to be supervised when they have them. These Kongs are really great. You can stuff them with some kibble and some water and freeze them and keep the puppy occupied. So keep the puppy occupied for a few minutes at a time. And particularly, they can go in the crate and help out with any crate training. If the puppy's a little barky or whiny in the crate, it might be distracted by a frozen Kong treat. We have a question in the chat here. Carrie says, when I started, I didn't know that what an X Pen was. So can you please explain? Yes, thank you. An X Pen is a foldable wire grate or a wire fence. And it's about 3 feet tall. And it sort of folds into an accordion, and you can set it up in a little circle. So you have basically like a little pen. Does that make sense? I hope so. Get some food bowls and a scoop. A scoop is very important. We want puppies to be healthy, but we don't want them to be overweight. We don't set an ideal weight for puppies, but we do want them to be healthy, but not overweight. We do have a ideal body score chart in the puppy manual, and you can refer to that. Puppies, when they're very little, may be chubby and have a little Buddha belly, and that's great. That's fine. We want them to be sort of chubby, happy puppies. But as they grow up, they should be fairly lean and develop nicely. I mentioned the tag. The tag will come when the puppy arrives. So please be sure to get that on the collar. Any other questions so far? Great.
James, wait, one quick one. What are the, on the toys at the bottom, the third from the left, what are they called?
On the left here is a Kong.
No, the third from the left.
Oh, third from the left. I thought you said starting from the left.
Sorry.
Third from the left. These sticks, I don't know what these are called. Does anybody else know on the call?
I think they're West Paw.
West Paw.
That
sounds right. Thank you.
West Paw. That sounds great. Thank you. Okay. So as you prepare for the puppy coming home, it's really important that you take a minute to sort of assess your home. And one of the very first things that you want to do is have a conversation with everybody in your home and talk about the standards of interaction that you are going to have with the puppy. Puppies, you know, our canine companions puppies are very cute. They are puppies, and they get to play and have a good time. But we do have to set some house rules and some standards of handling. So that means that the puppy does not get to roughhouse and bite your hands and wrestle to the point that they're completely overstimulated and crazy, or jump on you, or eat food off the floor, or get into the garbage, or jump on furniture. The list is a little long, and you can read all about it in the puppy manual. But what is important is that everybody in the house follows the same rules. It's not fair to the puppy, nor would it make any sense to allow the puppy to roughhouse with the kids and not have the same kind of interaction with other people in the house. So it's really important that everybody is on board with not feeding the puppy under the table or allowing the puppy to jump on furniture. Now, the puppy is certainly allowed to sit on the couch with you, invited, on your lap, or whatever. That's totally fine. But the puppy is not allowed to initiate jumping onto furniture without an invitation. I hope that's clear. It's important that you look around your yard and identify a spot where the puppy's going to toilet. It is what I have at my place is I have a little pathway off on the side of my house, and there's some bark laid out and a poop bucket, and the dog goes out there to toilet, and I'm able to sort of scoop that up and put it in the bucket. And then at the end of the week, I put that in the trash and off it goes. Having a little toileting area set up where you can manage the waste easily is really, really great. It will save your yard, and because that can really get out of control. Excuse me. It's also great that when the puppy has a specific place to go. It's important that we first take the puppy out to toilet on leash when you are taking the puppy out to toilet. And when they are little, they are going to need many, many, many toileting breaks. When a puppy has to go pee, you're generally going to have to take the puppy out about once an hour. And the reason for that, excuse me, is because the more opportunities they have to be successful in their toileting routine, the less likely they're going to be to toilet inappropriately in the house. And with their feeding schedule, they're usually going to have to toilet about within anywhere from a few minutes to about 20 or 30 minutes. So it's important that you take them out to toilet anytime they eat or have woken up from a nap or have gone from sort of hanging out to playing. Usually activity is going to stimulate their need to toilet. So it's important that you pay attention to both the schedule that you set for feeding and toileting, but also the schedule that they have for sleeping and playing. All right, and incorporate toileting in with both of those sort of activities. It's important that you look around for poisonous plants in your yard. We have a list in the puppy manual, again, of some poisonous plants that are common. One thing that you definitely need to look out for, and I probably should have put a picture of it in here, but sago palm. If you have a sago palm in your yard, you absolutely need to keep it unavailable completely to the puppy. For whatever reason, they are very interesting to dogs. And when they go to seed, they kind of grow this pod, and dogs seem to love them. And they are incredibly poisonous to dogs. I know people whose dogs have gotten into them. the dog survived. It was a $20,000 vet bill. It was 2 dogs, $20,000 each, and it was, yeah, pretty dramatic. So please, 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 Sago palms are no good for the puppies, and look out for those in your yard. And be sure to look for any hazards that are in the yard. So pools, things like that, fountains. We definitely don't want the puppy to have access to those things. Also, things like cracks in the deck or small spaces where puppies can sort of wiggle their way into should be fenced off and secured. Any other questions so far in the chat? No? Okay. Carrie, you're up. So I wanted to introduce everybody to Carrie Zufeld. Carrie has been a long-time puppy raiser. She's raised 6 puppies, and she started with her daughter back in what years was it, Carrie? 2009, did you say?
2008.
2008
with Deckle.
Yeah, Deckle. And you're also a co-raiser with the prison program, is that right?
Yes, I raised the last 3 puppies with 2 prison programs.
Great, yeah. And most recently, she's started contributing to our puppy blog. We just posted your first contribution on Sunday with Puppy Prep 101. So I'm really pleased and cannot thank you enough for joining us tonight to talk about getting the first puppy. So
okay,
James.
James gave me no heads up here, so I'm going off the cuff.
I'm sorry. Turn on your camera.
I wasn't sure. Oh, you want me to turn it on? Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I even have a barking dog in the background.
Perfect.
Just to prove I'm a puppy raiser, but that's not a canine companion's puppy. So I started in 2008. Our first puppy was Deckle. My daughter started us off. You might have read that on the blog. We got to Canine Companions and we just got this little ball, 10-pound ball of fluff and fell instantly in love. And we had no idea what we were doing. So it was fun. It was challenging, and we learned some great lessons. I will say that the goal of all of us is to serve, our community and hope our dogs graduate to provide independence. But I did learn that our success is not contingent upon graduation, but it's wonderful. We've been very lucky with our puppies graduating. We've gained new family members from our grad families. I want to say that for my daughter and me, this is the most rewarding and fulfilling adventure that I have ever done. And I'm definitely not going to give up puppy raising. But just be aware there are many lessons that we learned when you get your very first puppy. So one of those was we did have an X-pen once I learned what that was. And we put Deckle in it and we said, oh, we want him to have the most space ever to play. And we don't want him to feel penned in. So what actually happened with that is Deckle got to use the entire space for his restroom. And we learned real quickly that, like James says, if you have a super big crate, you think, oh, fun, the puppy can play around in there. But no. So when they are crated, it's best to have in the smallest crate that will comfortably fit the puppy. But we also learned something fun. I learned from another puppy raiser that she put the small crate inside the X pen, and it gave the puppy a chance to go in and out and learn to really love the crate. So what your goal is when they first get there is to have them love the crate, feed them in the crate, put toys in the crate, and feel safe in the crate under supervision. And I learned, we learned that was phenomenal. And as the dogs grow, they go put themselves to bed in the crate and they feel safe in there. So that's one of the lessons is don't think bigger is better. The other thing is managing your environment. Now, we all have had experiences where puppies chew our shoes or, chew things in the house that we don't want them to. The best way to set them up for success is not to leave your shoes and socks around. So I always recommend kind of scanning your environment when you get the puppy, and anything that you think might be used as a toy, pick it up and don't give the puppy a chance to get into anything you don't want them to. You want to be as positive as possible with your puppies and not always the police. So I find that managing the environment really helps, and James really taught me that.
No.
The Constance, I'm sorry, are you? Oh, I thought somebody was talking. The last thing, well, you can ask any questions you want, but the last thing I found out was we have a little thing, and I'm only bringing it up because it's in the Puppy Raiser Manual. It's a crowd favorite. It's called puppy diarrhea. And I've learned some little tricks because puppies can have this. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with their GI tract, but when they come home, they've just left their litter mates, they've left their mommy, and they can get a little bit of stress. What I have found, the feeding guidelines, if it's too much volume at one time for the puppy, that can cause some frustration for you because it can cause puppy diarrhea. So what I've learned to do is keep the kibble from their meals. Maybe if you want to feed them just half, keep the kibble from their meals and use it all day to do the training, because you will have a lot of training opportunities during the day. For example, if your puppy, and a lot of us tether our puppies to us during the day when we want to, keep an eye on them. But like every time that they sit, even if they don't have the command, you can give them a kibble treat. And so you're rewarding all the behaviors that you want to see more of. And so I would say spreading out the food and managing the environment, managing the crate and crate time have been really helpful for me in raising the subsequent 5 puppies. And you learn things from other people over time, from puppy class over time. But this is the best thing I have ever done in my life. And I just remember so well feeling so clueless with that first puppy. And so I want to help newer puppy raisers with getting over the hurdles. Also, FYI, the first couple of weeks, they're getting used to their schedule. Their bladders aren't that big. You may be up during the middle of the night, and then you have sense of buyer's remorse, like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And we all laugh about that because we've all been there. So don't get too anxious if you start feeling like, what have I done? Because honestly, it gets a lot easier. And if you have the mindset that you're going to put in a little more time in those late hours, the first couple of weeks while they're getting adjusted, it will be fun because the moments of joy during the day completely outweigh, any temporary fatigue you might have. So I think that's my words of wisdom. I'm not sure what else, James, what you would like me to talk
I
about.
think that's great. And I cannot tell you how, I'm trying to turn on my camera. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the encouragement that you offer to our new folks. And, I just really appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions? We have in the chat. Nothing? I also want to, Becca, if you want to just say hello quickly, Becca Bell, who is a longtime member of our puppy department, is now our national, what is it, Becca? National program assistant?
National Program Project Manager. I know
Project
it's a
manager,
mouthful.
sorry, yes. And she is managing many a project for puppy program right now. And she is also a really great resource for us. So thanks for jumping on the call. Let's see, what do we got here in the chat? So this question, but will the puppy not eat, chew all the bark? All right, was that in reference to the toileting area?
Maybe.
So if I think that's probably what it was in reference to. Yeah. Um, little puppies explore the world and everything around them with their mouths. That is guaranteed. So when you take the puppies out to toilet and to explore their environment, you are definitely going to have to watch any kind of surface that the puppy is walking on for loose things like bark, little rocks, leaves, twigs, all of those things will go right in the puppy's mouth. The good news is they tend to grow out of that pretty quickly, and it will become far less management. Amy asks, tethering is a new thing for me. Please give a few examples. Thanks. Yeah, so tethering is, and I think the context that Carrie was talking about it in, is when you can just tie the leash, a 6-foot leash, to your belt loop, and then you're going to have your hands free. So if you are, maybe doing dishes in the kitchen, maybe you're working at your computer, that's a great time to tether the puppy to your belt loop. This is going to allow you to still step in very, very quickly, and the puppy is not really going to be more than a few feet away from you at any time. So it can be a really, really helpful tool. Mark is asking, for how long should we wet the puppy food for? The manual says to soak it to make it softer for them to avoid choking. Yes, we want to avoid choking hazards, and we soak the food until they're about 12 weeks old. So for about 4 weeks after they arrive at your homes. All right. Can you give us any guidance on how to handle a mouthy puppy? Absolutely. A mouthy puppy is not going to bite hands that are not near its mouth. So take your hands away. You can put the puppy down. You can put the puppy in the crate. You can put the puppy anywhere where it can't mouth your hands. If the puppy really can't handle being picked up and held, maybe that puppy needs to be worn out. They usually are less mouthy and wiggly when they're tired. A tired puppy is a very good puppy. So get them some exercise. Don't get them overstimulated. Mouthing usually happens when the puppies are overstimulated. So just watch that level of stimulation. And if they're too much, then it's hands off and it's in the crate. Introducing a puppy to a pet dog at home. Any suggestions for the first meeting? Yeah, so generally, I mean, we know our pets pretty well. We know how they're going to interact with the puppies. Usually, puppies are going to harass an older dog. And older dogs will probably try to run away or correct the puppy. My dog does not like puppies because they chase her and bite her. And so she gets a little barky and snappy with puppies. She's never, bitten a puppy. But that's something that you definitely want to manage. Don't let the young puppy harass any of your dogs at home. Don't let them chase the cats. And manage the interaction so that it's even and the puppy isn't jumping and clobbering your pet dog. You can use an X pen, baby gates, all of those tools that we talked about to manage where the dogs are. And generally, the first interaction is probably going to be a little slow and tense at first, and then turn into crazy play. Manage that level of play. We don't want dogs going crazy. We had a play session on our puppy seminar a few weeks ago, and the comments were, "What, our puppies don't ever get to play?" That's not the case. I'd love to take a moment to sort of talk about that, and that, we let the puppies play and interact with each other, but they don't get to destroy the house and they don't get to clobber each other, just like your kids, right? So manage that level of play and interaction when it's dogs to dogs. What do you do when the puppy sits down on a walk? Yes, they get tired very quickly. If it's a matter of getting home and you just have a little ways to go, you can use a little motivation. Hey, puppy, 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 and get them walking. Use treats to lure them, or you can just pick them up and carry them. Little puppies have little short legs, and walking a short distance can be much farther for a little puppy than it can be for you. Do you recommend giving the puppy a bath right away? Can we leave the green ink on their ear? You can give the puppy a bath. They just had a bath just before they leave, but the crate can get messy, and I would bathe the puppy according to need at that point. I wouldn't just bathe the puppy for no reason. I mean, you're probably going to have to bathe the puppy pretty quickly anyway. And the green ink, we'd like you to leave the green ink on the ear for about 7 days to make sure that tattoo stays nice and clear. So if you want to just clean up around the edges, around the outside of the ear, that's great. We want to make sure the puppy can, those puppy photos come out without green ears. And so you can share them on social media and such. But yes, please bathe accordingly and leave the inside of the ink where the tattoo is alone until that heals up. Great. Well, this is our first waitlist call. I am so glad that people joined us. Thank you so much. This recording will be available on the blog tomorrow. So if you missed it, it will be up there. Thank you, Carrie, so much for joining us and offering us your insight. Only a puppy raiser who has done this a few times knows the anxiety that new puppy raisers feel. And so I really, really appreciate you sharing that with us today. Thank you. All right. With that, we will sign off. Oh, Jane, did you have a question? Jane, you have your hand up.
Yes, I do.
Great.
4-foot versus 6-foot leash, please.
Mm-hmm. I like a 6-foot leash. It's a little bit more to manage, but leash management, good leash management is an excellent thing to practice. So what that means is having a nice loose leash with any slack in the leash, neatly looped, hanging down. And for more details on leash management, you can talk to your puppy program manager. Also, for a little puppy who is going to be down on the ground, about 4 or 5 feet away from you, A 6-foot leash is probably a little bit better.
Okay. I'm shorter than you, and if I love a 4-foot leash. Is there any problem with using a 4-foot leash?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Great. All right.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.